Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? This is BC. Welcome back to another episode of Supreme Being. First and foremost, huge shout out to Team BC, everybody else. For those of you who watch on video, I have a banner underneath now giving you all my websites and links and everything. BRYANcasella.com, my website. Join teambc.com for you realtors who are interested in joining my team. BRYANcasella.com also has Modern Success, my coaching program. We have Partner with Team BC. For those of you interested in learning more about eXp Realty and partnering with me and all that fun stuff, you can check it out in the description as well and all my other social media handles. Okay, so let's get into it. What I want to discuss today, right? Oh yeah, real quick, Primal Code, which is an event I'm going to be doing here November 25th and 26th, live in person and online. It will also be recorded for those of you who cannot attend 2 3-hour days, right? We'll be doing 2 separate sessions. Primal Code is an event that I'm doing in regards to powerful communication techniques, making sure that when you meet somebody, when you market yourself, when you communicate, you get not only taken seriously, but you rise to the top in people's minds in regards to your professionalism, being taken seriously, being seen as an extreme expert, and all that other stuff. Now, there's a lot more that I put on my social media promoting. I don't want this to be a promo exclusively for the event. If you're interested, you can sign up at bryancasella.com or you can contact me and go on my social media for more information. Okay. Activating that fire within you, stoking the flames of competition and some of these, other what I would deem and what other people would deem as these internal switches that when you activate them, you enter a different mode. Like I know if I activate that switch in me in regards to really wanting to win a competition, right? It could be playing a video game. It could be a friendly game of basketball, whatever it is. It could be like when I got into real estate, I told people I would be top 10 in my company. Making a decision that I want this, I want to achieve this, I want to be number one, whatever it is. When I activate that within me, be careful. Be very careful because I now become an unstoppable force. It's almost like in the movies when, like if you've seen Gods of Egypt, when they go into that mode, when they become the god and transform into that armor or whatever it is. In my mind, that's what happens. And externally, my movements, my seriousness, my dedication, my discipline, my execution, all of that heightens. And I feel sorry for my competition at that point. I'm not even thinking about them, but I really do feel sorry for them. You get a side of me and a version of me that is dangerous, in quotes. Not physically dangerous, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. Now, everybody, and I know this for a fact, everybody has a capacity. Every human being has a capacity to activate that and bring that out within themselves. And what I want to do today is cover a few of many, right? The list is never ending of things that you can do in order to activate this and utilize this in your life, because this is one of those, if we're ever going to, create one of those kind of cliche and cheesy things where we say, these are the secrets of success, or these are the secrets of, high achievers and all that stuff that you guys see on social media and TV that maybe you get a little turned off by or you laugh at. This would be one of those things. Like if I was to do an event like that, like a legit event like that, this would be it. This would be one of the things that I cover at that event, like to make it the real deal. It would be this. So these are practical things that you can do in order for you to start stoking these flames, building these flames, lighting this fire, being competitive, however you want to call it, right? Don't get caught up in the words, okay? One is this. I'm sure in your life, whether you know them or you follow them online, there's going to be 2 categories of people, right? Now there's more, but these are 2 that I want you to get around more, be around them, watch their content, join their programs, go to an event where they're going to be a speaker, whatever it is. Okay. 2 categories, athletes and hustlers. And what I mean by hustler, it doesn't necessarily mean a street hustler, right? I don't want you to go around, people who are doing illegal shit. That's not what I'm saying. I am both. I'm an athlete and I'm a hustler. Get around me from a physical standpoint, playing sports, training, you'll see. Also, on the hustle side, many of you have been following me for years. You appreciate that in me. That's what you relate to the most, because that's the side of me you've gotten online and that's what you see more. You haven't really seen the athlete side of me or, experienced it in person. Some people have. But if you were around, me 24/7, very quickly you would identify with this, meaning you know what it is. You would see it live in action, and then you would see when I activate it, how I activate it. Then you would ask questions around it. Then you would have now a reference for your own process on how to start doing it. And it would become clear to you that, wow, this is like important. This is something I really need to start doing and implementing. Because just this switch ups everything in your life. And the cool thing is this is like a tool, right? This is like an asset that you can now have and bring to the table that now you own, and it's at your disposal. You can do with it as you please. So observe, get around these people, these athletes and hustlers. Just watch them, ask them questions, talk to them, interact with them. I don't care if you have to pay, fucking do it. This is important to you, right? Why are we so strapped to come out of pocket now if you have to? Do it. I can't tell you if I would have had the ability to at some point do like something one-on-one with like Kobe or Michael Jordan. You guys know I played basketball at a high level before. If you didn't, now you know. I don't know how much I would have paid. I would have had to get loans, whatever. Hey, Kobe's willing to give me an hour for fucking $5,000 or $10,000. I would figure it out even if I didn't have the money. I'd get loans. I would do whatever the fuck I had to do for that because I would value that so much as a basketball player and as an athlete. 1,000%. 1,000%. To get around those top achievers, top athletes and hustlers. 1,000%. Are you doing that? Now, you may think, well, my crew has that. Really? But is it the level that you want to be at? That's the follow-up question. Are those people exhibiting success, habits, disciplines, results that is that far-reaching thing? Not, oh, they're a little bit ahead of me and they inspire me. No, that end goal of you, that end version that you want to be. If they're not on that level, find new ones. You can keep the ones that you have, sure, but you got to keep upgrading and finding new ones, at least as your reference point. I'm hanging out with them. I'm a part of this because that exposure is going to help me. That's the point of this first one. Okay, get around those athletes and hustlers and watch how it starts to transform you. Greatness will rub off on you. Seeing how they move and they shake and how they interact with people and all the other stuff. And there may be even insignificant stuff that they do that you're like, wow, that's how they talk to people, or that's how they move in between, appointments. This is what they do here. All that stuff that you didn't even think about, you'll observe and see and experience and be like, oh, that's something I can change. Oh, that's really cool. Things that you would have never have expected, right? Cool. That's the first one. Let's take a look at number 2. Here's one that you can do for your own kind of process. The first one I could say was more external, right? You're getting around people, right? You're getting a different vibe, so on and so forth. The second one for you is to now go through everything that you do. And a lot of people don't have a reference to this, but everything that you do, you have a standard, right? So let's say you're a salesperson, as an example, your standard is, hey, I make 50 calls every day. Okay. What I want you to do is, especially in areas where there's a task that you do or something that you do that challenges you, that maybe like physically for you, physical stuff is tougher. Maybe for some of you, it's the mental stuff that's tougher. Whatever that 1 or 2 categories is for you in your life, where it's like more challenging, your diet or whatever it is. Okay. It could be diet, could be relationships, could be anything, finances, right? Think about that for a second, maybe write it down or make a mental note real quick, because the next thing is the key. This is point number 2. I want you to go in these areas that are especially tricky and challenging for you. And whatever the standard is for that, right? That's basically your minimum standard. We're going to rename it for the sake of this. I want you to set a stronger and challenging minimum standard in that. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is this. I've told people, look, I had a very strong minimum standard for me when I got into real estate. It was to make X amount of calls and do this, the 200 phone calls hand dialed, the 100 doors knocked on, 2 hours spent on role playing and practicing and perfecting my craft and practicing my scripts. All that stuff was a strong minimum standard because regardless of how I felt, I achieved that. Now, the days that I had more motivation, more energy, I would do extra, but I never bent or broke from that minimum standard. And if I did, I could probably count on my, one hand the times that I didn't hit that minimum standard over a very long period of time, probably years. So that's pretty damn good. It's like 99 point something percent probably, if we're going to do the math on the days versus the days that I missed, right? So set that strong minimum standard for you in that area or areas where it's a little bit more challenging for you. This is how within you push this process a little bit. The first one was external. This one's internal. But again, this has to mean a lot to you. You're not going to do everything on this podcast or, stoke the flames of that inner fire, light it, be competitive, unless you really want to. If it's not important to you, if it's not a priority, you're not going to give a shit. You're not going to do anything. That's the sad part. That's really the sad part. Because people ask, well, how do you do it? You just fucking do it. There's no special way to do it. Oh, count to 3, turn around 3 times, squat down, jump up, clap your hands twice, and then do it. No, this isn't a magic trick. This is you handling your life. There's no way to do it except doing it, right? That's another question that people have created that I don't understand. What do you mean how to do it? How to follow your schedule? You fucking follow it. How to show up on time? You show up on time. Like, why are we adding an extra layer of difficulty and making excuses? If you want to do something, you'll do it. If you don't, you won't. Ponder that for a second, because that's basically what it boils down to. Set that strong minimum standard for yourself, okay, in these areas, and execute. Number 3, join programs, join clubs, participate in things that offer some sort of reward, okay? Toastmasters, which is I recommend to everybody who wants to improve the public speaking and communication. They have national competitions, right? They even have little, every time we would go to a meeting, they would have like a contest, who won the best table topics, who won the best speaker, right? Involve yourself in things like that where there's a reward at the end. But again, I'm actively adding myself into that now to where I can achieve something, get a reward, get recognition. And again, it's not about the reward. It's the fact that the reward is there to light that fire under your ass to do it. It's not about, oh, I got 100 rewards, I'm cooler than you. No, you get the reward for the sake of saying, I got number 1. You don't have to tell anybody unless you want to. If you achieved it, then by all means, you can tell the world. It's an achievement. You did it. I'm not saying go brag about it, but you can let people know for sure. So this is where, again, now you have to look harder, because maybe there's some things that, again, you don't like or you don't want to do. Maybe for some of you, like I said, the physical aspect is tough. Well, join one of those races where they have prizes, or if you get, in the top 10, you get recognition or something. And use that as the marker to say, I'm going to work my ass off to place in the top 10 in that race. Maybe for some of you, it's, the diet aspect of it will make it a weight loss thing, or do the progress pictures, right? To achieve a certain percentage of body fat, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Maybe for some of you, it's, getting appointments, getting leads. I don't know, right? Use your imagination. There's a million different ways we can spin this thing. But involve yourself in a group, a mastermind, a club, whatever it is that will stoke these flames. Whenever you involve other people, a common goal, and everybody's competing to get to the end, naturally these juices will start flowing. But again, you have to actively put yourself in this position, which means you have to sit there and say, man, I suck at this. Well, let me challenge myself more and join this contest, or put myself here and say, hey, I commit that in 6 months, I'll be number 1. Or we're going to join this contest here that's in 3 months, and we're going to train for it, right? Cool. But figure it out. Figure it out, right? I'm giving you some basic stuff that you can now implement to, again, get this going. A lot of people say that they lack that fire, the competitiveness, that edge, that X factor, whatever you want to call it. These are some very simple ways that any of you can begin this process. And as time goes on, you'll know which way you need to go more. Those indicators will become clear to you. But again, this is done with self-initiation, right? Okay, that's number 3. And the last one, here's another one that's more emotional, and it can be really more deeply rooted in your psychology. One thing, and there's 2 ways we can look at it, right? I'll give you one, and then I'll give you the second one, which is a real point. But this is just a bonus one here. I had a chip on my shoulder when I started. A lot of people were against me. Nobody thought I would succeed. Very little, if any, support at all. And I used that. I used that to say, I'm giving all these motherfuckers a middle finger. I want my success to eat them alive. I had a chip on my shoulder, right? Now, is that the best long-term method of achieving success? Absolutely not. However, in the short term, it can provide a lot for you. Absolutely, it can. And that's what I did. And when I didn't need it anymore, I didn't have a point to prove, and I matured mentally a little bit more and let that go. Cool, out the window. But it wasn't my only purpose. If that's your only purpose, you will suffer once you let it go, right? But the other one is this. Think about, for many of you who maybe are in my position where maybe your family's immigrants, not many people have money, you're an entrepreneur, you're doing your thing. And you have the opportunity now to be that breakthrough individual in your ancestry, right? In your whole family tree. That was always pretty fucking cool to me, because now we're talking like legacy, right? And I thought, man, I can not only help my family and close friends and business partners and people I care about, but I can serve as an inspiration to the people before me, to the people after me. Again, my bloodline, whatever it is. That's cool when you think about it. Even talking about it right now fucking fires me up to work more. That's cool. Basically, it means it's bigger than just me. I know I'm important in my life, of course, but it's bigger than me. I can effectively help other people by doing this. Now, somebody down the line, maybe 4 generations later, they're like, oh, Bryan, he did it. You can do it too. It's not like you would be the first, dude. Bryan did it. He started from nothing and built it up from the bottom. Now, I'll be long gone by then in the dirt. But it's cool to know that that's a lasting effect, and that is a possibility in the future. Now, add on to that random people that follow you, right? All the messages I get, all the people on YouTube, the hundreds of thousands of downloads and plays every year that this podcast gets. I mean, that's pretty fucking cool, man. That's really cool when you step back and think about it. That alone would give me enough fire, just that last point that I'm giving you right here. But nobody stops to think about that. Well, I have no followers. It doesn't matter, dude. Whether it's one person in your family or who knows you, or that random person or a million people, you're still serving a purpose greater than just yourself. And when you achieve a certain level of success, that's what you're going to get fulfillment from. I get tremendous fulfillment now from seeing the agents on Team BC, especially the new ones, come in and start doing really well, better than I did when I started. That's awesome. And I'm like, look at this fucking platform that I created to allow somebody to come in and thrive. This is incredible. This is bigger than just me. This is much bigger than me. All my sacrifices and temporary shortcomings and hard work built this for them. It shouldn't be harder for the next people. It should be simpler and easier. That's how we're supposed to progress as mankind. So that really is cool to me, right? But that's more of an internal, emotional, psychological thing. And it requires you as a person to be mature too, and not be so, self-absorbed and all that other stuff. Because a lot of people will, from the outside make those kind of judgments about me, which is stupid. Because if you really listen to my message and you see what I do in my life, even though I don't share a lot of that stuff because I don't like sharing, I help this person or that person, right? Because I feel like a lot of people just do it for clout. But if you're close to me or you really pay attention, I'm not like that. I'm not some belligerent, arrogant piece of shit. Nothing close to that at all. But some people might think that. Don't care. Don't care. Because that last point is being hammered home. For every one person I have like that doesn't like me or thinks that, there's probably tens of thousands who think the opposite and know the opposite. But again, that's a big driving factor for me. And it can be for you too if you learn to channel this stuff and use it properly. Okay? So with that said, I'm going to end the episode here. Have this fire in you. This is that X factor. You learn to have this and be able to summon this at your will. Man, you are not going to need that motivational shit and all that other crap people run to every day. Motivation for people now is like coffee or some kind of fucking drug. Or to get the fire under them, whatever it is, right? Nowadays, that's the buzzword, motivation, but you won't need that shit anymore. It's time to transcend. It's time to grow. It's time to move beyond kindergarten when it comes to life and self-mastery and a lot of these techniques. You need to level up. This is one of those ways. Okay. So I appreciate everybody. Again, if you need anything, check out my stuff at BRYANCasala.com. You have Primal Code, my event coming soon, which I recommend everybody sign up for. You have Modern Success, my coaching program, which is available to you. You have all my other social media links below. Join Team BC, partner with Team BC, and all that fun stuff. All right. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.